Happy Friday, traders. It's 8:03 a.m. Chicago time on the 16th of October, 2020. This is episode number 1860. Welcome aboard. Thanks for joining. Derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. This morning, really a pretty balanced market so far in the overnight session, overnight for the U.S. It is slight risk on seeing the Euro Stocks 50 coming back a little bit from yesterday's fall and ensuing rally. The Euro Stocks 50 are up 1.5% following the end of the European Council meeting. The DAX is up 1.46% or 184 points, followed by the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's up 87.5 points or 0.74. The Dow's up 127 points or 0.45. And the S&P is opening in a gap up yet again at 12.75 points, up 0.37. Crude oil is the laggard. One thing to note, crude... Excuse me one second. Crude has rolled from November, the X contract to the Z contract. The symbol is CLZ0, CLZ20, depending on the feed. The premium adjustment on all prior contracts has to be plus 0.28. Plus 0.28. Just note that. Should be trading the December contract for crude. In terms of what's going on, Pfizer came out and said that they had applied for U.S. emergency use of its COVID-19 vaccine, candidate being developed along with Germany's BioNTech as soon as the safety milestone is achieved in the third week of November. Chances of a vaccine before the election, as promised by POTUS, are slim to none. Gilead questions the WHO study that cast doubts on their drugs, COVID-19 benefits. Overall, there's been a lot of chatter from the UK. The cable is off slightly. It looks like there is no deal, and Prime Minister Johnson is telling businesses to prepare for a hard exit or a no deal exit, and to take measures for that. Macron just came across, the French Prime Minister just came across saying that they want to give this 2 more weeks to come up with something. But you know, this Brexit thing has been going on for how long for you in Europe? I don't remember what. I remember trading that that announcement, but I don't remember how long ago it was. And there's just been this negotiation for years and years and years. Anyway, rough going there, but that's where they stand. And so that's what's on deck. Looking at the calendar, we did get retail sales very strong. Very strong retail sales, 1.9% versus 0.5 expected. Industrial production is due in about 8 minutes. Feds Williams speaks at 9:45, just 15 minutes after the open. Business inventories at 10. Michigan sentiment, this is potentially a mover. Michigan consumer sentiment and expectations are due at 10 o'clock Eastern, a half hour after the open. After that, we're pretty much clear. We're pretty much clear for the weekend. Regular weekend, no holidays, nothing special this weekend. We'll see how today plays out, but here's how what we expected for yesterday in our review segment. As we look at what was expected yesterday, neither one of these played out. The first and second scenario should have had a third scenario in there for because we were out of balance and we're opening the gap. Generally, I throw a third or a fourth scenario in there. But overall, my expectations were tempered. Was looking for a test of 50-52 failure, and then basically sideways and a gap down and hold day. Secondary scenario, a push to 20 below, and then a rally back up towards the upper distribution from yesterday's overnight profile in the 60s, 34, 60, 66, 68. And so that's not what took place yesterday. It had a pretty good run up. Let's get rid of these stock zones. Had a pretty good run up. Some really excellent, in my opinion, and I know I don't like saying that because some people may have lost money in this, but really clear intent on the part of how it traded yesterday. It held some levels pretty well. It did push through and back into the prior day's triple bottom, which was at 72. We have 72 and 74. There's a triple bottom at 72. There's a double top at 74. That was broken higher and was tested from above. And so this area held for just a minute, really didn't give us very much, 5 points. And then we ended up pushing to the prior day's close at 34.80 and a quarter, which coincides with the prior point of control. And the market just shut off at that point. Basically, came back into balance and held yesterday's range after opening in a gap down 34.37. The market came right back to the high volume node, to the point of control the prior day, and said, okay, we've arrived, everybody take a break. And then the session ended. So I thought it was a pretty interesting trade, held the levels pretty well. Some pretty decent tests, and the order flow was relatively clean in my opinion. I'm saying those not to gloat. I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. I'm saying that for those who need a frame of reference of how the market may or may not be orderly in the day time frame. For me, in my time frame, it certainly was. Carry that into the overnight session, relatively muted overnight session, regular volume, 245,000, pretty balanced. Holding the overnight session basically traded equally above and below the close, giving us a pretty balanced inventory until this run up on retail sales into new highs. So a slight inventory slightly long now, and in terms of price and volume or delta, looking for it to correct a little bit here back towards the point of control at 85 before we start challenging the key figure above, which is this area right here, a test of what was mentioned a couple days ago, a test of this 94 area. The LVN in this area is quite important. If we take out the 94 and hold a bid, it would be very easy for the market to come up and hold this area right up here, giving us a target of about 35.16 overall. Expecting a relatively muted Friday today. We'll see how it goes. The order flow during this session has been quite steady, relatively okay, nothing spectacular. A few collisions on the retail, but there's a lot on offer up top. You can see there's quite a bit going on up here, but it all came in after retail sales, so likely to have a bit of an issue here, a little bit of a grind, and then turn down into the high volume node, retest the overnight point of control to find buyers, and then likely to continue higher from there towards 3,500. This is what I'm expecting for today. Let's look at the bigger picture for a moment and pull up our composite chart or a daily chart. The daily chart helps us see what the overall sentiment is. I mean, we still have, the week is almost over. We have higher lows on the week. So one time framing up, yesterday's bounce was really decent. We didn't leave a gap behind, and we are pushing higher. And there's that 35.14. I said 16, but it's really 35.14 becomes a key target, and it's not far. It really isn't far from today. I know it's about 30 points away as we stand here, but 30 points can be covered relatively quickly these days. But that's the key target up above. We've had our pull up, our pullback. We've cleaned up this gap beneath us. We still have some weaker structures below, but look at what happened yesterday. We had pretty decent delta buying for the day as the market moved up. It seems like we're buying the dips yet again, and we are not that far from the 35.76.75 all-time high. We're likely to resume this pattern higher. Caution shorts. So that's where we stand today. Let's take a look at what's expected for today so you can all move on. Looks like industrial production just came out at negative 0.6, missing the expected 0.5 positive just now. Markets responding, a little bit of selling going on. Here's what we're expecting for today. This is what's going on here? Whiteboard. Here's the sell-off right there. Let me get my colors right. Choop. Well, the initial trade has been taken away. The return to 34.85 that I was just talking about has been taken away already. When we were up here, the expectations for a response down into the overnight point of control. There's a fair amount of stability here, a fair amount of support at yesterday's high. It is likely to now move into yesterday's high. This is 81 up here. Consolidate, and I'm looking for it to grind through to 94 right here. This is the next key area to test, 94. It's a virgin test, expecting a response there, consolidate, and I'm looking for it to break into the next level up, which is 3,500, the century figure. So 3,500, the double O, pull back, consolidate, and then push through to 35.05 potentially for today, with the big target being that 14 area up above. Okay, so 14 is the next area up. So above us, 94, 00, 05, and 14, 14, 16. This is what we're looking for today on the upside, and looking for it to come down and test this 81. Since it's already pulled back to the overnight low, we're likely to to correct inventory a little bit more on the open. We'll see how that goes. These are expectations. These are not predictions. Secondary, an open auction that immediately tests up, pushes the overnight high to 94, finds sellers at the 94 right up here, gives us an impulse down back to the 85, and then a push into 81 to bring us back into yesterday's range. Not expecting very much here. Looking for it to test below and then consolidate. In either case, I'm looking for a higher VPOC and a higher V. This is supposed to be a P, and a higher high, higher low today. So I'm expecting the business back to resume, and then the big area auction wise to test will be 1416, or that's the target. If we don't get it today, we're likely to walk into it Monday, Tuesday. That's the big picture. There's a lot above us, but we do have the 3500 magnet, and the 94 is a big line in the sand. Okay, does that make sense? So that's it. Hopefully you're picking something up every day that you're here, and just mind your risk today coming into the weekend. Follow your plan. Let's outline your map. Map out your trades. Map out your areas of interest, and let the market come to you, as opposed to being engaged and feeling FOMO and feeling like you need to do something and over trading and losing money to people who are more patient. So map out your trades and let the market do its thing and prove itself to you before you engage with it. Good luck, and I'll catch you on Monday morning. Have a nice weekend.